All right, hello and welcome. Very excited today for your webinar of how to land your dream job in less than 60 days. Now, this is going to be 100% content packed and rich with detail, stretching from how to build the perfect resume, how to win interviews and get offers, how to get noticed in job markets where you might not have the minimum required experience, how to get noticed in congested industries where you might not be the number one applicant based off of qualifications. And again, how to win those interviews and stand out, how to even negotiate compensation, and much, much more. So you're going to want to stay tuned all the way through, even if you're on the front end, just trying to figure out how you can stand out, how you can get your resume in front of the right people. You're going to want to watch all of this so that you can retain the information and use each and every part to your advantage in landing your dream job within the next 60 days. So in order to dive in, I think it's important to give you a little bit more context on me. I promise I won't take more than a minute to do so. So my name is Chris Tonis. I am the CEO of Preeminent Recruitment. I help companies from Fortune 500 all the way to startups in Silicon Valley find talent and set up recruitment and retention best practices. Now, in addition to doing that, I have been blessed over the last 7 years to help independently over 1,000 people land their ideal job. And that is outside of the placement that I do for the companies that I consult with. So I'm in a really unique position where I get to get a better understanding of what companies are looking for, and I get a really unique understanding of what people like yourself are struggling with and dealing with as they search for their dream job. Now, you have to be careful out there, and this is something I want to start with who you get information from. There's two camps that tend to pass out information when it comes to job searches. There's the recruiters themselves, like myself and part of the business that we operate at Preeminent Recruitment. And there's also gurus who help with things like resume formatting or career coaches. Now, I am a huge proponent that everybody has to make a living and that there's a place for both types of people. When it comes to the recruiters, one thing you have to be cautious of is that the recruiter gets paid by the company that they're recruiting for, not from you. Which means when push comes to shove, they're going to have the company's best interests in mind. So you just have to take what you hear from them with a grain of salt. Now, when it comes to the gurus, the career coaches, the resume formatters, etc., again, you have to be a little bit cautious because if you look at their LinkedIn profiles and do your research, which I have done, you will find that most of them are no more qualified than yourself to be giving you information on what to do. And I just want to start there because I think it's very important to understand that where you get information truly does matter. And as I stated previously, I'm in a very unique position where I have both the qualifications and your best interests in mind because a big focus of my day is helping individuals like yourself find the job that they deserve. Now, we can jump in now that we've explained this and talked through this and talk first about the resume. Every job search needs to start here. If we were to make a checklist of all the things you need to accomplish to complete your dream job hunt within 60 days, it has to start with the CV or resume. Now, there's been recent posts on LinkedIn that have been trending and articles out there that say the time and day for the resume has come and soon enough, they're going to be irrelevant. I don't understand how this could be true, considering every company we recruit for and consult with, the first thing they want to see from applicants is the resume. Not personality assessments, not LinkedIn profiles, but the resume. And a resume is the most important part of your job search because of this, because it's your first impression. And if you get this wrong, you will be overlooked for the job that you want before you even have a chance to show them how great you are. So it's very, very, very important to get it right. And it's very simple to get right, but most people don't. Now, on a monthly basis, my team and myself reviews over 3,000 resumes. And I can tell you, due to the past 6 months, less than 6% of the resumes we see, 94% of the resumes we see are not good. They're not even good. I'm not talking aren't great, exceptional. They wouldn't even meet the standards required for the positions that we have to submit them for. And oftentimes we have to find ourselves editing resumes to help the people that are applying for our jobs. And so that means if you're watching this, there's a very good probability that your resume is lacking in one of the following ways. And I think as I explain it, you'll understand that yours is. So a good resume must be clean and concise. Now, that doesn't mean your resume should only be one page. Actually, the best resumes out there are 2 to 3 pages in length. I personally think 3 pages is the perfect amount. The reason 3 pages is a good amount is because there should be 4 to 10 bullet points under each job explaining your accomplishments, your soft skills, things you learned, people you might have or who might have reported to you, and more about the job detail and company that you worked for. In addition to that, your resume should be clean. Now, what that means is there should be no graphs, no charts. It should be something very underwhelming. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to pick the resume up, digitally speaking. If you had your MacBook or your laptop, or you're viewing it on some sort of tablet, and you have to be able to look at it and be able to quickly identify what companies you worked for and what was the job titles you held, and quickly be able to see the first 2 or 3 bullet points with the most important information. If you look at your resume and it's not quick within a second to see all of that, then you need to start by fixing those areas. Your resume should be skimmable. It's a word I coined, and it must have the key content and data in the first 2 or 3 bullet points of each position. Now, the other thing that you need to keep in mind when you're formatting resume is there should be at least 3 bullet points dedicated to specific data. Reason being, a recent survey found and posted on LinkedIn from a major survey found that over 60%, maybe even as high as 70% of employers think that people lie on the resume. And I believe it. And ironically, I believe that people lie on the resume because I've read enough of them. Now, you can simply get over this by being sure to have specific data points, not rounded, not summarized, but specific data. Now, if you can do just those things, make it clean, concise, easy to read, easy to skim, and have the right data points, if you can do just those simple things, you'll be far ahead of most other people. But if you can do this last component, your resume will be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. And that is to optimize your resume for keyword search. Most companies, as much as 75% of companies, use some sort of resume screening AI tool. Again, this was something trending online recently that Amazon had a big mistake in their listing that was over-screening people and letting them know they were unqualified before they even submitted the application. Most companies are doing this. So it's important to have the right jargon in your resume to show that you meet the specific qualifications for each job you apply for, which means you have to change your your resume for each job that you apply for, and use the right keywording. That doesn't mean you lie on your resume or add fictitious things. You just make some edits to make yourself appear as a specialist. Now, on the bottom of this page, you'll see a section where you can sign up and get our help directly one-on-one. We would cover all of these things in detail and show you what the formatting works and the structuring works and all of that. But like I said, without even doing that, if you could just take the words I'm giving you here, you're in a far better place than most people. So you have the resume. What's next? Well, now you have to figure out how to get noticed. Now, for the person, maybe you, who's applying for jobs that you're not necessarily qualified for, or if you've ever applied for a job and had the feeling that they asked for 2 years of experience and you're asking yourself, well, how do you get 2 years of experience? Well, the fact of the matter is, writing enough job descriptions for companies, working on enough jobs for companies, I can tell you that what you see in a job listing isn't always the truth. That is their preferred requirements. Even if it says requirements, it's negotiable. Have you ever heard the saying that everything in life is negotiable? This is true when you're applying for a job. Your experience level is negotiable. If you could find a way to uniquely get in front of the hiring manager, then you could sell them on you being the right fit for the job. Even if on paper you're not perfect for it. It happens every day, and you need to start asking yourself, why not you? But you have to creatively get in front of the hiring manager. Over 96 to 98% of applications do not turn into interviews. Reason being is the average job listing on a major career site right now sees between 100 to 200 applications. You're getting lost in the fray, especially considering HR departments are incredibly overwhelmed right now. They don't have the time to sift through 200 applications. So what can you do? Well, again, when you or if you decide to partner with us, which you'll find the way to do that below, we would give you the exact scripts and everything, every step, every tool you could use to get in front of the hiring manager and make sure that they're seeing you. And we guarantee that. But to give you some takeaways as promised, so you can start moving towards landing that dream job within 60 days, some unique things you could do is create a video sales letter that you post on LinkedIn. So if you're interested in a specific type of job, do a quick selfie video like I'm making for you right now and post it on LinkedIn saying, hi, my name is Chris Tonis. I am a talent acquisition specialist and I have XYZ skill sets. I have 7 years of experience doing X. I've helped this many people. I'm reaching out to my network with this video because I want your support. If you know of a job that fits what I'm looking for, then list what you're looking for. Would you please share this with them, comment with their information, and message me if you could help. Ask your community for help and do this. You'll get a lot of inbox offers if you do this. These types of videos go viral and you will see that you get some great results. The other thing you can do is use LinkedIn to connect with the companies that are hiring and connecting with some of the hiring managers, asking if you could share with them your resume or set up a time to speak with them about the job. This circumvents the application process. Now, you should still continue to apply. Everything else is a supplement to applying for the job. You can use other social media platforms like Facebook to reach out to the company's Facebook page, asking if you can, again, send your resume directly and speak with somebody about the job. And there's many, many other things you could do. We create an actual system and funnel to help people get noticed that works really, really well. And that would be in the bundle below. Now, moving on from getting noticed, because now you have some good ideas. Now you have a resume. Now you have some ideas how to get noticed and in front of the right people. Now you need to understand how to win interviews and get offers. Now, if you notice, that tagline is very similar to a famous book that you may or may not know, which is How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? And winning interviews and getting job offers is very similar to some of the key takeaways in that famous, timeless book. You see, to win interviews, there's a couple of key components. First is to have unyielding, I call it unyielding interview confidence. Over 80% of employers say that interviews are won and lost from the interviewee's confidence level. So if you rush into the interview, have clammy hands, shake hands with sopping wet hands, run into the interview, sit down as fast as you can, struggle to make eye contact, and do all of the things that make you appear nervous, then you're going to find interviews to be incredibly complicated. For you that struggles with confidence in general, I'm going to give you a little hack that will help you for the rest of your life when it comes to interviews. And this part of the video alone could be the greatest takeaway. It's to remember that every interview that you go on, you are the chosen one. If you've ever seen The Matrix, you are the one. You're the person that was chosen for this interview over the hundreds of people that applied. As I told you, 200 people probably applied for this job, but they chose you. You don't need to be nervous. They need to be nervous that they may lose the one person that they really wanted to hire. No one in the history of time has set aside 30 to 40 minutes to interview somebody that they didn't subsequently want to hire. If you can remember that and tell yourself that every time you're going into an interview, your confidence will go through the roof. You also need to remind yourself, and this is my key takeaway for interviews, is you are interviewing them more than they're interviewing you. If you flip that around, your inferiority bias will go away. You will feel superior going into the interview, which will make you a more confident person and keep you in control of the interview. Now, we have a ton of strategies when it comes to interviewing that are far more intricate, but that would take a lot longer than this webinar could handle to keep to my promise of keeping it short. So my takeaways here is you should be asking questions more than they're asking you questions. When you're preparing for the interview, do research on the company, their mission and vision, and any kind of news that they're part of. You're going to do some research on the person that's going to be interviewing you using social media. And then you're going to list out 25 questions that you want to ask them. And you're going to erase the first 10 because they're probably the same first 10 questions that everybody asks, which means if you want to stand out, you have to ask your 15 backups. Now, we, for the people that do partner with us, give you the best interview questions that people should be asking during interviews as part of our package, as well as several training videos for that, which we'll get to in a minute. But if you can just do that, again, you'll be far better off than most people. So now we have gotten the resume. We have found ways to uniquely get noticed, no matter if the market's congested, no matter if you don't have the right experience. And now we have a path to win interviews and get more offers. So now comes the point where you get offered that job you've always wanted, and your target salary is $80,000 a year, and they come to you and make you an offer. You hear the words on the other end of the phone with them saying, hey, we're so excited to bring you on board. Your offer is $70,000. Your heart sinks because you know that you cannot accept a job for less than $75,000 and wanted $80,000. What do you do? Traditional wisdom, conventional wisdom, oftentimes leads you down the wrong path. You have been told by friends, peers, colleagues, family, that when you negotiate, the person who has more to lose always is at a disadvantage. So when you negotiate, you should always seem like it doesn't really matter, that you're willing to walk away. If you negotiate for a job using conventional wisdom, this conventional wisdom, you will lose the offer. If you go back to them and act blasé, like you do not care if you get the offer or if you keep the offer or not, and you throw out there that you want $90,000 because you were taught to throw a number out so high that they meet you in the middle, then they will turn around and say, no, thank you. I have lost so many offers for people over the years to learn this simple truth. I cannot tell you how many people confidently did this against my best counsel and advice and found themselves back in their job search, giving up the job that they really wanted when they probably could have got closer to the pay that they needed. So what you should do is forget conventional wisdom. What you should do is go back to them, and we call it kissing toads. You need to let them know how excited you are for the job. Your tonality, your expressions, if this is on a Zoom, your words that you use have to indicate that you are going to make this work. They need to believe that you want this job so bad, but due to compensation, you can't say yes yet. And that's pretty simple to do by just being honest to yourself. Not many people like to play hardball. So all you have to do is let them know, listen, I am so excited to join you and your team. This is the job I've always wanted. I've never been more excited for any position before. But if I'm being 100% honest with you, I was looking to make $80,000 a year. Is there anything you can do in the way of compensation? And would you mind at least checking for me? Let them see what they can do. Sometimes they come up to the number that you wanted. Sometimes they do meet you in the middle of what the number you needed. And sometimes if they come and meet you in the middle at $75,000, you can play that card one more time. You could say, oh my God, thank you so much for increasing the offer and being so considerate. You know, as I mentioned, I had really hoped to be around $80,000. Is there a way that we could work out a pay increase if my performance meets the expectations that you guys have for me when you hire me? And you can play little games here. And again, every situation with negotiation is so different. And that is why partnering with us is so important. Because when the job search gets complex and confusing, you have to have access to somebody who's been there and done that. Now, we kept this video to 20 minutes, which was the goal. Now, before you stop watching, it's so important that you watch this because I'm going to do something incredible for you. Most people will go out there and try to do this on their own and run into some troubles because there's gaps of things that you need to do. You're going to struggle with some of the things you should add to your resume. You might struggle with how to prepare certain questions for the interview. You have the right information, but you need someone to walk you through it and make sure that you're doing things correctly. Now, I made a post earlier on LinkedIn today, and if you don't follow me, you should, because I drop a lot of content that could help you in your search there. In this post on LinkedIn, I had a thought bubble, and I shared this idea that, and we've all been there, where it seems so simple to spend $180 on a pair of shoes. It seems so simple to spend $100 a week, $200 a week, going out to dinner with our family once a week. It seems like a no-brainer to submit our car payment of $400, $500 a month for a car that we didn't really need. We could have got something a little cheaper. But when it comes to investing in ourselves and our careers and our futures, we hold our cards so tight. I understand this. I've been there. I was stuck in life. I was applying for jobs and not hearing back. My skill sets were minimal at best. But I made a decision one day to start investing in myself. Since that day, I've spent over $200,000 in personal education and investing in my future, and my life has never been better. Now, I'm not telling you that you should or shouldn't invest in partnering with us. I personally would love to see you do it because I want to see you succeed, but I don't shame anybody that chooses to save money and do what's best for them and their family. But for you, if you want help with your job search and you want to make sure it's done correctly, I really challenge you to invest the exact amount that you're probably paying per month in going out to dinner with your family for your career that will last you the rest of your life. Below, you'll find a form. On that form, you'll see the price of our services, and that price is $497. What you're going to get for that is a resume formatting revamped option, which means we will completely redo your resume. So we will restructure it. We'll give you exactly what you need to write in on the resume, and we will give you the blueprint that hundreds of companies have given us of what they're looking for when they're looking at a resume. Once we shore up the resume, then we will ask you to send us a list of the ideal jobs that you want. So we're going to show you where to go and search for jobs to make sure you're looking at the right jobs. Most jobs online, if you didn't know this, are not real jobs. They're actually already closed and companies haven't taken them down or are using it for phishing. And so we'll show you where you should be searching for jobs. You'll find some of those ideal jobs. Then we will create a short video for you, 10, 15 minutes at most, where we will show you exactly how to connect and map out connecting with these companies. And then we'll even give you the exact word for word scripts that you should use when reaching out to companies. Once we've reached out to plenty of companies, we will keep you honest and make sure that you're doing it consistently, because all of this requires consistency. And then once we start to get you interviews, we'll then share with you the documentation, the tools, and the video trainings that you need to win your next interview. In addition to the tools and the script and the PDFs and the videos that we'll give you to win the interview, like questions to ask, interview confidence videos, how to structure your interview process, what you should be looking for and preparing for. Once you watch those videos, you'll go to your interview, and if you get the offer, which my confidence says that with our training, you'll find yourself with a lot more offers, then what we will do is send you more information on how to negotiate your compensation. And you can email us and email me specifically with what they offered you, what you're looking for, and ask me what you should do. In addition to all of that, you'll have access to me 7 days a week by email. You can ask me any question throughout your entire job search, and I will answer it in either a video format to give you more context, or I'll write back to you. So this entire time, until you land your job, you have access to me via email. You'll be getting trainings from us at every step of the way. We'll guide you through the process for $497. Most people charge $2,000 to simply format a resume without even a good knowledge base of what a resume should look like. In addition to all of this, we want to make this an absolute no-brainer for you. And we want you to have no risk, because we're in this to help people. And the way we're going to do that is everything that we offer is 100% guaranteed. If at any point you feel like you're not getting the value that you paid, you can simply ask for a refund. We won't ask any questions. We will refund you, and you can keep all of the material. We believe that people operate out of integrity. We choose to believe that. So we know that people won't buy this just to get the material and then ask for a refund. So we understand that if someone asks for it, they just don't align with what we believe. And so if at any point you feel like you're not getting your value, we will refund you. Now, I urge you, and I really do urge you, to please take action on this soon, because the next time you see this page, it's very likely that this offer is going to be $1,000 and then eventually $2,000. When we initially rolled this out, it was planned to be a $2,000 program. I went to my partner and my wife and told her that I want to offer it for $497 so it's accessible to everybody. Because even if you don't have $497, you have a family member that will pay for you. Just the other day, we helped somebody whose sister paid for him to get help from us. And we're doing significant work to him in his career, and he's having a lot of success. I hope that you have the courage to do the same. I hope that you take us up on this and get help from us. And I would love to meet you and learn about you and tell you what you need to do to land your dream job within the next 60 days. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. Take care.